feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the post-show wrap-up video here on the Central Pennsylvania Shrimp Tank. I'm your co-host, Nathan Imboden. I think today I was
the bottle
cap shrimp. I don't know. Every week it's something different. I'm alongside the drunken elf shrimp, Taylor Ranker,
a sober elf,
and a beautiful jacket today. Hey, we just got done interviewing Mike Pavone with Pavone Advertising here earlier, and you can find a full replay of his broadcast on our website at shrimptankpodcast.com/CentralPA. Also, find our podcast anywhere you get podcasts. Search for us directly, the Central PA Shrimp Tank, and subscribe so you can catch all of our episodes, both past and going forward as we get, again, to interview amazing entrepreneurs like Mike in the Central Pennsylvania region. So check him out. We had a great time on the podcast. We learned a lot about his grit, how he started from $300, and we're going to talk about that, to now a multifaceted, multi-division organization.
Entities, if I remember. 6.
With 95 employees, thriving, some unbelievable brands you work with, which we'll talk as well about. We talked about his perspective on niching. We talked about just a lot of great information. So again, check out the full replay on our website, shrimptankpodcast.com/CentralPA. And Taylor, we have some important things to get out of the way.
I think it's the most important question, especially now that I'm sitting here with bottle cap, and we know you have. So it's alleged around town, Michael, that you love a good Manhattan.
I do.
Well, in that case, we have someone you need to meet. It's our, it's our famous shrimp tank.
Manhattan.
Look at that.
Yeah, beautiful. Well done. You have the right cherries, too. Thank you. The Stardust.
I know.
Thanks,
well
shrimp tender.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, awesome.
Come on, shrimp tender.
Yeah.
Keep it up here, young lady. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done. Yeah. Thank you. You know,
cheers.
I forget what. Cheers. Yeah.
Goodbye, shrimp tender.
Cheers.
Here's to you, fellas.
Amen.
All right, bottle cap. There's no bottles
yes,
involved
there
here.
you go.
We're safe.
Yeah, we got
Just
it.
a nice glass.
You know, sadly, I was somewhere where I got an old fashioned. That's usually my go-to, and it had a maraschino cherry in it.
Yeah,
and
nice.
I was no, not nice.
No,
it was not my.
I was nice on the old fashioned, but the maraschino.
Yeah, correct.
Nice
on
not
the old
trying.
fashioned,
You're just
yeah.
not
Can
trying
you
when
guys
do that.
finish? I'm just going to be a drunken
Yeah,
elf.
we can. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about you, and then tell us about the company and what you guys do.
All right. So Michael Pavone, I'm the CEO of the Pavone Marketing Group, and Pavone Marketing Group is a holding company of 6 companies, and it's all based around marketing and advertising. So we have Pavone, which is our general agency. We started 28 years ago. Quench, which is all food and beverage. Varsity, which is senior living. WildFig, which is data analytics. Market Street Trust Design Company, which does a lot of packaging, a lot of graphic design, a lot of brand building or branding. And then we have, last but not least, Leap Innovation, which does research and innovation for companies.
And all of that was really born out of your, we talked about niches. Yeah, exactly. Started with $300, an opportunity. You talked about some of the difficulties in actually turning difficult clients away, especially in the early stages when every dollar counted. But talk about those niches a little bit, and maybe how some of them came to be and why you find them so valuable. And then I know you mentioned some of the brands you guys represent. Sure. And that's very valuable.
Well, we started out as Pavone, and that's still alive and well and doing very, very well in a multitude of categories. But it was sort of a general agency, and our goal was not to be the best agency in Harrisburg. I think when I started, there was probably like 8 agencies, believe it or not, in Harrisburg. Wow. Believe it or not.
Wow.
And and when there's a boatload in Lancaster and a boatload in York, and our goal wasn't just to be the best of this region. So we wanted to do national brands, and soon thereafter, we started Varsity. And Varsity was a senior living, senior health, and really understanding the whole mature audience. And I thought one day that Cadillac would come and Callaway would come calling, and that didn't work. But Varsity is working and doing very, very much, it's very much alive and well, and a thought leader in the industry. But in the senior living category. So soon after that, we created Quench, food and beverage, and we were able to break through into a lot of national brands: Starkist, Sunmade, Del Monte, just to name a few.
Well, did you have anything to do with Yuengling becoming a national brand?
Well, I won't say we get the credit for that. It's a great product. Dick Yuengling's awesome. We worked for them about 8 years. I think we did a really nice job positioning up and down the East Coast.
Yeah.
So
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Taylor, I know you were very impressed with the idea of his grit, and you
Well,
guys
it's the
have
bulldog.
similar stories.
When I think
yeah.
of it's not your mascot, but it's sort of
yeah,
the,
it's kind of
is.
the
Yeah.
mascot.
signet
yeah.
of your brand.
Yeah.
And as a business owner myself for 31 years who's been kicked around, successful, I was just intrigued because I think if I remember, you tell your daughters this, right? Can you talk about that, the grit, the resilience?
My thing is if you keep getting up, you don't lose. And it sounds easy, but it's hard. You get beat up, you get kicked around, you lose something, you run into problems. You still have to dust yourself up. And you have to get back, on the horse. And you got to get up and you got to go forward. And it sounds easy, but most people will not do it. Most people will veer off along the way. Most people won't take the risk. Most people won't dust themselves off. Most people will just find someplace else safer. And I guess I always said I was never smart enough to know what I can't do. I'm willing to try stuff, and it's one of those things. And I think that's what makes an entrepreneur. And I think it's a little bit of guts, grit, maybe having the courage, maybe being a little crazy. I don't know, but that's what it's all about.
It could be a combination of all this. And I was going to ask, where does that come from? We didn't talk about that on the show. We talked about just the general needing to have grit. But for you, where does that come from?
It's interesting. I thought about this the other day. We talked about that. I didn't graduate from Harvard Business School. I was not like this business-minded guy. But when I was young, I always hustled. If I cut one lawn and make $5, well, if I cut 5 lawns, I'd, make $25.
Yeah.
But if I got 5 guys to cut 5 lawns, now we're talking.
Now
So
we're talking.
It was a simple math thing. It's like I needed money. Here's what you do to get it. So I always hustled. And when I was a little kid, when I was like 14, I remember I had 3 different jobs. I was washing dishes at one place, I was cutting grass during the day, and then I was working as a bar back in another place. And so I always had a couple things going, a couple hustles. And my dad started his own business, and he struggled with it. I'll be really honest, but it taught me about doing that. It taught me that it's okay, that anyone can take a chance, and you can make it if you work hard.
It's the American dream.
It's the American dream.
It's the American dream. Well, let's talk about creative a little bit, because I know you guys pride yourselves on your ability to be creative.
And quickly to segue a little bit, he referred to himself initially as a creative.
That's how I started.
Exactly. Yeah. So talk about that a little bit, and then some of the, if you want to share, some of the exciting news you guys have starting January 2nd.
Yeah. So, when I started out, I was a creative. What I mean by that is I could come up with ideas, advertising ideas. I could write the copy. I could come up with the look and the feel. I wasn't great at any of those things, but the idea part, the overall conceptual part, I was pretty solid at. But I learned very quickly, and one of my business goals early on was I have very simple sort of mantras on things, and it was just really to be the dumbest person in the building. So everybody I hire has got to be better than me at whatever it is they do, and that's the case. And now we've got like 95 people, and I'm I'm like the 96th smartest, if you will, or the best at. Everyone's better. Everyone's way better.
Don't look at me, Nathan. I'm not conceding that.
Yeah, from the creative, all my creatives, and my creatives will tell you they're all better than I am, and they are. They're fantastic, and we're always trying to get the best and brightest talent. And I'm very excited because the leader of the creative is the chief creative officer, and we just hired a gentleman who's going to start January 2nd. His name is Ronaldo. And Ronaldo is from Brazil, from Sao Paulo. We did an international search to find this guy. And we interviewed an awful lot of people, a lot of people from New York, California, and in between, all international award-winning creatives. And we found this gentleman who is younger, he's hungry, and the most impressive thing about him is he's kind. He might be the nicest, most humble creative I've ever met, which I don't know how that's going to go. He might get chewed up and spit out. I don't know. But we're excited. He's a rock star, so it's going to be cool. Yeah,
that's a great pickup for Pavone. It's a great pickup for Central PA and all the brands you guys represent. So
sure is.
That's awesome.
I want to be affiliated with a guy who can persuade someone that talented to come to Central PA from Sao Paulo. So that's amazing.
For a while, when you start here, and there's nothing wrong with this area, I do feel like to a degree I'm the Pied Piper for Central Pennsylvania because I brought a lot of talent into this area, and you got to sell the area. Yeah, I got to worry about which way they drive in from the airport. Seriously, there's times we'll drive people to the office. It's one of those things. But you know what? The Central Pennsylvania has an awful lot to offer, and I do love it here personally. And it's cool. And this gentleman, he wants to raise a family. And what a wonderful place to raise a family. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, by the way, 100%. One of the values of the Shrimp Tank, you may not have known this. We haven't talked about this, but is we strive to get business owners and entrepreneurs to meet each other, to interact with each other, because we want to keep all of that revenue here. Yeah. We want it to this community to prosper. So that's a big point of the show.
Well, we've said, the buzzwords of the small business and entrepreneurship being the backbone of America, and it's the backbone of Central PA. And we like to
By the
keep
way,
that
Nathan
thriving.
and Joy, for your knowledge, I know Mike is a lot more humble than me. I am definitely the smartest guy wearing this jacket.
That's true. That is true. Okay, I will concede that fact. I will concede that fact. Well, Mike, for our viewers here who are watching this video that want to learn more about what you guys offer and maybe ways to engage with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
You could look at our overall holding company site, which is pavonemg.com. So it's Pavone Marketing Group, but pavonemg.com. And that can take you to all the individual websites. So you can get to Market Street Trust Design Company from there, WildFig, Leap, Varsity, Pavone, and Quench.
Very good. Very good. Well, check it out. They got some a great website. I know you talked about starting to do some kind of niching as well with cars, autos, and stuff. It's a really good stuff. Again, a lot of good things on their website and great information on the podcast. So be sure to listen to that full broadcast on our website, shrimptankpodcast.com/CentralPA. Next week on our show,
my friend and
Buffett
colleague.
and Hans and Franz here are going to have
I pick
your
things
friends.
up, I put them down.
Yeah.
No, it's my friend and colleague Jim Zuppel.
Yeah.
He brought the Gold's Gym to Linglestown Road, which is an amazing facility.
Yeah.
Actually made me get off my fat assets and get into the gym. And so he's going to be joining us. He was a retired Hershey executive.
Yeah.
And went into the gym, the fitness industry. Yeah. So I find that an intriguing story.
Very cool. Yeah, we're going to get some good data from him, and hopefully he won't shame us too much on our appearance. But we'll see how it goes. Again, check out Pavone. Thanks for being on the show,
My pleasure.
Mike.
Thank
and
you. Appreciate
we'll see
your
you
time.
next week
Mike.
on the
Yeah.
Central PA Shrimp Tank.
I've been feeling like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond, and the shrimp